Hey fellow trailheads, let's go hike. What's up, y'all? This is Danny from the Texas Trailhead. I'm doing something a little different today. I'm actually walking from my house to the trail onto the Plum Creek Trail in Kyle, Texas. I've been on the trail previously, but it wasn't completed yet, so I'm gonna go check it out and just see what the difference is from the first time to the last time. So I'm pretty excited to see. And also, last time I was on my bike, so it was a little bit different. To get to the park, I'm like a mile away. I just figured get my steps in, and then the trail itself, I think, is 3 miles in one direction. Pretty much goes from the park, Lake Kyle Park, to one of the other neighborhoods in Kyle, and then just comes back. So I'm gonna go check it out. So we are off on the Plum Creek Trail. As the sign states, it's 3.7 miles in one direction, so a little bit more than I thought. I have extra snacks and plenty of water, just out of general preparedness, so I should be fine. I guess if worst case, I can text my wife and have her come get me. But yeah, there's a lot of signs that say watch out for snakes. This is also a lake that I fish at a lot, and honestly, I've never seen a snake here except for just a normal water snake. So we'll see if I see anything on the trail over there closer to the creek itself. If you are into fishing, Lake Kyle is a great spot. I'm here pretty often just because it's close to the house, and they've got good sunfish and some pretty big bass. They do actually hold bass tournaments here too, so it's a pretty neat place to come spend some time outdoors. I don't know what the original plans for the park were. There's an amphitheater here, and they host some of the festivals here in the area, but they're really pushing the hiking aspect. I see a lot of people on their bikes here as well, so it's a fun bike trail. The trail itself is just mowed down really short. It's not paved or anything, but you can see the difference in the coloring and the length of the grass. So far, pretty easy to stay on track. So I just crossed the metal bridge over part of the creek, and this is where it starts to feel a little unfinished. Definitely signs of some kind of just yard work, basically. A lot of the bamboo shoots, for not knowing what they are specifically, they look like bamboo shoots, but a lot of those are plowed over, and just a lot of widening of this trail, it seems like. Just a lot of stuff kind of all over the place, really. Just a general mess. The trail markers were pretty constant there for a little bit, and I haven't seen one in a while. So we'll see if they're starting to pick that up a little bit. So I've made it through the part where I stopped last time. Basically, if you see behind me, there's just kind of like an old cornfield. Literally, there's some cobs on the outer part of where they got all the husks out. And I wasn't really sure if I was going in the right way. And technically, I'm not really sure I am this time either, but I do see a lot of bike tracks and footprints, so I'm gonna keep going. I mean, that's the one thing about knowing where you're at as far as landmarks in the town you live in, is I know where I am if something hits the fan. But I'm gonna go a little bit more just to make sure that I'm going in the right direction. I mean, it's not a trailblaze, but it's a bench and a city trash can, so if that's all I'm getting, I'll take it. Because now I don't feel like I'm trespassing on somebody's property. It is also still part of the hunting season here in Texas, so I'm surprised I haven't heard any shotgun shots going off in the background. So this is all new for me on this part of the trail, and don't really know what to expect. I hear a lot of things in the trees, all the birds and squirrels and general life around me, so pretty stoked to go explore this part a little bit more. So this is probably my favorite part of the trail so far. Lots of trees. It doesn't really feel like my own neighborhood anymore, just with all of the pretty scenery. Lots of birds out. A few people on the trail running. So that's kind of good to see that people are using this trail for all the work that went into it. Parts of the creek that I'm walking next to are pretty dry, and then all of a sudden there's these little pools of water. I've been looking for signs of decent fishing activity, but this creek's kind of not the best option for that. So I hear kids playing kind of off in the distance, so I should be approaching the neighborhood here pretty soon, but I'm just going to enjoy the view under the trees and the canopy just a little bit longer. I don't know if you can hear the dogs barking in the background. Signs of life. All right, I'm done with the first part of the hike. It goes on to, I guess, where the neighborhood is, but the actual trail, as it turns out, is right next to me where I'm standing right now, and I'm just gonna stop here and have my snack, my Kate's Real Food. They just came out with a new flavor that I'm currently selling on Texas Trail Company. It's cranberry, oatmeal cranberry, and almond. It's my favorite trail snack. It's the only thing I eat now. I'm at 4.18 miles, and still have to make it home, so I'm gonna try to stay on the actual trail as much as possible. I just saw a guy on his mountain bike go where the mowed part is, It's a little quirky. I'll have a full recap up on the website, but I hope that they do a little bit more to kind of direct traffic a little bit better, because there are roads that are used for maintenance vehicles or whatever. That makes it kind of confusing to stay on the trail. I made it to the end, so it's not like a huge deal, but for people that are just gonna kind of do some recreation casually, I can see how someone can get turned around. Anyways, I'm gonna have the rest of my snack and start making my way back home, back to my neighborhood. So let's see what it looks like in the other direction. Normally I'm looking down on the trail because I want to make sure I don't step on snakes or, I don't know, whatever, paranoid. But there's so many horse apples everywhere. I'm having to look up. That's the last thing I want to do, is get clunked in the head by a horse apple while I'm hiking. They're everywhere. I guess if I was desperate for snacks on this trail, I could just chew into one of those. Lots of people on bikes on this trail, and I definitely want to come back with my bike. It looks like it's a wild adventure on the mountain bike. Just with some of the turns and curves on this trail, it looks pretty cool. So just one little extra tidbit. All right, I just hit the 7-mile mark. I've got to say, the way back, the signs are set up more appropriately for that direction. I stayed a lot closer to the water and presumably the actual trail that they want people to follow. So hopefully they work on putting the signs better facing both directions. I can already see kind of the end of the trail from where I'm standing. Overall, a pretty fun place to hike. I like that it changes scenery, and it's good mileage. I mean, I should hit 8 miles by the time this trail is over, and so for a fun city park, this is pretty cool. So definitely get out there and explore those city parks. You can find a post where I talk about all the different bonds that were passed. Cities and communities really want these natural spaces. You just gotta get out and use them, make it worth it. So let's get to the last little part of this trail. Thanks again for joining me on another hike along as I hiked the Plum Creek Park in Kyle, Texas. Until next time, grab your backpack and put on your hiking shoes and go out on another adventure. This is the Texas Trailhead.